Are you in the military, either active duty or retired, such as myself, and you're making that move out to here to Hawaii pretty soon? You either got orders or you're thinking about just coming and enjoying paradise as a retired veteran. In this video, we're actually going to be talking about what it's like to move out here to Hawaii as a military service member, and we're going to get after it right now. What's going on? Welcome to the Living in Hawaii channel. If you are new here, this channel is all about what it's like to live in Hawaii, what it's like to eat, sleep, play, breathe, the up, down, left, and right, everything that you need to know about living in Hawaii. So if you're not new here, welcome back. Make sure you all hit the like button. It helps anybody else be able to find this information that's looking for it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and that notification bell so you get notified every time that I upload a new video on this channel. And look, we talked to so many people reaching out just like yourself, active duty military service members, retired military service members, looking to call Hawaii home, whether it's on orders or not. And you can reach out, you can do the same thing. You can shoot us a text, you can give us an email, give me a call, you can get in my DMs, you can schedule your own Zoom with us using the link down in the description below. However you want to get a hold of us, we got your back when moving to Hawaii. Let's go ahead and get things started by identifying where are some of these military bases in Hawaii. First things first though, I have an entire video on this channel that points out over 15 military installations that are in the Hawaiian Islands, and in that video I pull up the map and we start pinpointing where these things are. If you have no idea where you're going to be stationed, you're definitely going to watch that video. We're going to, matter of fact, so when you get to the end of this one, what's going to happen is there's going to be a screen that pops up and I'm going to have it right there for you. All you got to do is touch it and it's going to take you right to that video to identify where more of these military installations are if you're getting stationed at places like Fort Shafter, Tripler, things like that, Tripler Army Medical Center, other bases that are not as common. But so let's go ahead and point out just some of the main ones here really quick to get you an idea. So what you're going to see right here is going to be Schofield Barracks. Schofield Barracks is actually located more central Oahu, closer to towns such as Wahiawa and Mililani, about 25 minutes south of Haleiwa town, and depending on where you're coming from, it could be about 25-30 minute drive from either Ewa Beach or maybe a little bit less from Pearl City, or areas like Waipio, maybe a little bit less when it's 15 to 20 minutes, right? There's gate traffic and all these things that come into consideration, but Schofield Barracks, nonetheless, central Oahu is going to be the location. Now, if we're looking at Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam, which is going to be, so at the bottom of the island, it's kind of like a horseshoe, and that's going to be our port entry, right? And then on the right side of that, so that's that right side of that horseshoe, that portion is actually where the Honolulu airport is, but also right there is going to be Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam. That's going to be on that southern shores right there of the island. And now one of the other major bases is Marine Corps Base Hawaii. Marine Corps Base Hawaii is located on the windward side over there, wedged kind of like, some people say it's in Kailua, some people may say it's in Kaneohe, but it's over there wedged just in between them. It's like this strip of land that kind of just sticks out in between the two cities and communities, and that's where Marine Corps Base Hawaii is, over there in the Kaneohe area. Beautiful over there. That's probably one of the most like gorgeous duty stations to be over there, just nestled in Kaneohe and Kailua and the things that those communities have to offer. But we wanted to give you just an idea of where some of those main installations are. So again, we talked about Schofield Barracks, which is going to be your Army. Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam is going to be your Navy and Air Force, right? And the Marine Corps Base Hawaii is going to be your Marines out there on the windward side. Next thing we want to talk about really is that Hawaii, or being stationed in Hawaii, is going to be different than most of your other duty stations, right? Some of you may have been to places that are OCONUS, like Germany or Korea, right? Or, you know, up there in Alaska, over there is at Wainwright, right? But out here in Hawaii, it's just going to be different than even those, right? Most of your other duty stations. Well, starting off with, we're here on an island. When you're stationed out here in Hawaii, which is historic, right? We're talking about history, and we got Pearl Harbor and those types of things as far as military history goes. But being stationed out here is just different, right? Being on this island, the location of this island, and as far as connections to Asia and the things over there on the other side of the world, right? And when you're in that center point as far as being in the Pacific Ocean, it's just going to be different in that aspect. It's going to be different in the aspect of the culture and the things that are here that you're maybe not used to, right? One of the other things that's different too, as far as military bases are concerned, and being former military, I know this. I was actually stationed over in Fort Stewart, and I've been to several other military bases too, Fort Polk and some other ones, right? Where there's not much in that town, and there probably wouldn't be much in that town if it weren't for the military being there. And the military being a huge driver of that economy, whether, you know, whatever town it's in. So Fort Stewart was in a town, or is in a town called Hinesville, right? You probably never heard of Hinesville, right? You may have heard of Savannah, Georgia, where you got Hunter Army Airfield and stuff, but as far as Hinesville, right, and Fort Stewart being in Hinesville, you probably never heard of that, right? That's what I mean, little podunk towns that don't have much, and probably wouldn't have much if it weren't for the military base being there. I say all that to bring it up that that's not the case for Hawaii, right? Hawaii, huge tourist destination, lots of things happening here. So the military doesn't necessarily make Hawaii or the town, which is what I was talking about with Hinesville, right? You being here though, you're gonna stick out like a sore thumb. And you are a huge driver of the economy out here, but you're not the only thing. The actual biggest driver of the economy out here is tourism, right? It's a pretty heavy tourism economy, kind of like that of Las Vegas, but it is a huge driver. And nonetheless though, you're not going to be the main reason or the main focus of the town when you're talking about all the military stores, tactical stores, and those types of things. So a little bit different, one of the most unique duty stations and the things that you're going to be exposed to while you're out here in Hawaii. Then we start talking about things to do, right? So for another instance, right, when I was stationed over there at Stewart, anytime we had a 3-4 day weekend or block leave, it was like a ghost town. Everybody left, right? Because there's nothing keeping you there, right? So, and everybody, you know, goes to Florida or travels because we were in a spot where we could easily get to Jacksonville or easily head to South Florida or easily head up to Atlanta and stuff like that, right? In Hawaii, I mean, even if you're on block leave or you have these 4-day weekends, flying out of here may not be ideal, and there are no road trips necessarily, right? But there's a lot of fun things to do here anyway, so you're not in a rush to leave. A lot of people are trying to get here for their vacations, right? And you're getting a little vacation. So there's a lot of fun things to do. A lot of people that come out here learn how to surf, paddleboard, do a lot of the hiking, go exploring around the island, finding cool things, enjoying the woods, the mountains, and that type of stuff. So a lot of things to do out here versus a lot of the other military installations that may be in the middle of nowhere. When it comes to being stationed in Hawaii, so this is for you active duty service members, we'll talk about a little bit about what to expect, okay? So my parents were stationed here, my brother-in-law was stationed here, and I've known a lot of people who have been stationed here, and this is a general consensus of what being told as far as being stationed here in Hawaii in 2021 and beyond. But when you're stationed in Hawaii, everybody here already knows that, it's just very different. You're going to get a lot of tips and tricks while you're in processing, but a couple of things that you can expect as a soldier here in Hawaii: a lot of hill running because Hawaii is a very, very mountainous area. A lot of hill running, a lot of hot weather, right? If you're not used to the heat. Now, it's a tropical heat, a little bit different, right? The ocean breeze blowing, the salt in the air, and those types of things. But a lot of heat year round. If you're hoping that it's going to get cold, that 6:30 formation PT in the winter might be a little bit better for you when it's 65 and 70 and it feels nice and cool to be outside running or rucking or whatever it is that you're doing. But that tropical heat year round, you're going to be traveling a lot. Pathways is something that you do out here. So pathways, you go to the Philippines and all these other places, you get to experience these other cultures and stuff like that. But pathways is something they do out here. Another thing is training on the Big Island. A lot of times you'll be going to the Big Island to do some training over there. They got a lot more space and things over there for training facilities purposes. But you'll go to the Big Island and conduct a lot of training. And the general consensus too is that you get deployed a lot when you're out here. My brother-in-law, they actually PCSed out of here, but when he was here, I was like, man, I feel like I never see you, because it was almost like that. So for about his 3 years of being stationed here, he almost added it up to about half of that 3 years he was gone. It was just wild, whether that be field time, pathways, Big Island, whatever it may be. yeah, he just felt like he was gone all the time, and it was crazy. So I spent a lot of time with his, my nephews and stuff. But yeah, he just had that feeling like I'm always gone. And I said it to him, like, man, I swear you're never here. You're always off doing something because they told you to, right? So these are the Army. But yeah, so just have that mindset and that perspective, especially if you're traveling out here with your family or your spouse. And making sure that they're aware that you may be gone all the time. But you'll know more when you're talking to, your NCOs or your commanding officers in your unit and stuff like that about what's coming down the pipeline as far as going to, Fort Irwin, Fort Polk for training, Big Island for training, and those types of things. So definitely a general consensus. Even in the comments of some of the other videos, you see people saying the same things, right? Man, I was stationed there and it was beautiful. I loved it, but I was never there. And I got to enjoy it while I was there somewhat. So those types of things can come into play. When you're in Hawaii, especially if you're active duty military, you are going to stick out like a sore thumb, right? You're high and tight, right? It's very recognizable. People here are so used to it by now that you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. You get off of the ships and you're wearing your whites, right? And all that stuff. It's just, yeah, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. Everybody knows it. And so, you know what I mean? If you're one of those that tries to get away from it all or get away from work, right? Some of us like to be close. We like to be closer to the flagpole or close in proximity to work because we don't want a long drive and all that stuff. Some of us, we keep work at work, right? But then when we're off work, we take it all off, right? We take all the military stuff off and we just try to go be a civilian. I get it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when you are here and you have to maintain those standards, right? You do stick out like a sore thumb. And everybody just knows it, right? But I mean, don't forget to, use your military discounts. Most places here will offer you a military discount. And most people will ask you, hey, are you military? I still get it, even though I've got a beard, but they don't know that you can't really have a beard in the military. But I still get it all the time. And I have my VA ID and I show my VA ID and stuff, which is cool. But yeah, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. Don't try to avoid it. Just be it. It's all good. We know who you are and why you're here because you're stationed here and that type of stuff. Just wanted to go ahead and point that out to you. Big tip for moving here as active duty when you get your orders and you're PCSing to Hawaii. But even if you're a retired veteran and you're thinking about bringing your entire house out here from wherever it is you live to out here, you're going to want to downsize just because things out here are smaller, right? There's no easy way to put this. Things out here are more congested. They're smaller. The size of homes are smaller in just general perspective, right? When we're talking about lot size, home size, what you're going to get, right? Bang for your buck and dollar equivalent. Things are just smaller and more compact out here. So a lot of times you're going to need to downsize. That couch, that massive couch that you have may not fit in your living room out here. Okay, you may need to downsize, right? That Cali King hopefully will fit in your primary bedroom, right? So these items, and then just a lot of junk, right? We tend to collect a lot of junk, especially when we're going from duty station to duty station, right? And we're PCSing, and we just start collecting all these things, right? Go through your stuff, and then just kind of like, do I need this? Do I really need this? Do I need to bring this all the way out here? If you really want to keep some stuff, maybe you get a storage unit and just keep it over there. But I'm not saying get rid of all your stuff, right? The other thing about this too is a lot of people that come here and are military and then they're PCSing out. If you go in the Facebook marketplace, now you always got to do your own due diligence for scams and all that stuff, but a lot of times Craigslist and Facebook marketplace especially will have a lot of items as far as from military people who are PCSing out of here and don't want to bring all that stuff back with them. They're going to buy new stuff when they get to their next duty station or whatever the case may be. So you can look at Facebook Marketplace. You can go ahead and start looking on Facebook Marketplace if you want to and get that idea. Oh, he said to go check it, and then go check it and see what's on there. See if something's on there that might fit like the price and style that you're looking for. But again, a lot of people are on there that are military and they don't want to bring all the stuff with them back to the mainland. So they post it on Facebook Marketplace and kind of clear out before they leave, right? So you probably want to consider downsizing, going through all your things and seeing if you really need to bring that much stuff depending on your lifestyle, your priorities, and your goals and those types of things. So definitely consider downsizing. Last couple of tips for you here. So number one thing that you should be doing, especially when the military is coming to grab all of your stuff and your household goods, right, and put them in containers or boxes and containers for you, is you're going to want to take your phone and record a video. You're going to want to record a video of really your more expensive items. I say this because of the experiences that people tell me about when they move out here, right? And I moved out here a while ago, long time ago, but still happening to this day. People are opening or getting all their stuff moved into their house, and then they unwrap it, and then there's damages, right? Damages to your couches, your TVs, your expensive furniture, and those types of things. So just go ahead and take your phone, right, and just record yourself talking and pointing out your furniture and doing a good inspection of your furniture, whether it be your expensive couches, your dresser, whatever the case may be, that is something that is of, large value amount or sentimental amount to you, and really record a video on that, just because of the stories that I've heard with the damages. Another little tip I've heard, recently too, with clients I've just helped buy a home, but they had to have their pets stay in quarantine. And not all quarantine facilities are created equal, and they don't all have the same care. So I'm not going to talk bad about anybody or anything, just going to tell you that you want to be on top of those people at that quarantine facility, because nobody's going to care more about your pet than you are. So just make sure that you're on top of them as far as what your pet needs, food-wise, play-wise, all those things. Make sure you're on top of them. My last tip for you: if you are moving to Hawaii and you are in the military or active duty, or if you're a retired service member looking to call Hawaii home, come chillax out here by the beaches, is you can give me a call, you can shoot me a text, you can send me an email, you can go ahead and schedule your Zoom with us down with the link down in the description below. All right, we talk to tons of people just like you, and we absolutely love it. You can reach out, you can do the same thing. Okay, however you want to get a hold of us, we have your back when moving to Hawaii. I mentioned those other things on this channel, right? We got on post tours where I'm going through an empty house. So if you're considering living on post, I do a tour of a house that is in the Schofield community on post. All right, we got tons of other videos talking about PCSing to Hawaii and the things that you need to know. I mentioned where I'm pointing out all the bases on the map. That's going to start popping up for you right now.